welcome. Now, this is my YouTube channel. You can enjoy more. Subscribe, follow, and like. I want to talk about how to manage your salary and watch it grow. Remember, my first video, I talked about the Meet Fire Your Boss and what I gained from my 9-to-5 experience. You too can listen to that. Now, let's talk about how to manage your salary and watch it grow. 1, have a strong why. What do I mean by that? Why do you want to save your salary? Why do you want to let it grow? It could be 1, you want to, have a deposit for a house. You want to go out of debt. Maybe you have student loan. Maybe you have some things that you want to put money into. Have a strong why. Or you want to save up upfront for a rent. I know someone that's working 9-to-5 who wanted to move from an apartment where they were paying 350,000 naira in Nigeria to an apartment where they will be paying 1.5 million. But she was working in a bank and had access to loan, and she was going to take that loan. I'm like, why don't you stay 1 more year in this 350,000 house? She said, why? I said, how much are you going to be paying back in the loan? She said, 100,000 every month. I said, why don't you save that 100,000 every month in anticipation that next year you will move to this? Because you're going to pay interest on that 100,000. But if you can save that 100,000 and delay yourself, it's called delayed gratification. You would have achieved 2 things. You have inculcated in yourself the habit of savings, and at the same time you would save yourself paying interest on the money that you receive. So have a strong reason. Or you want to save for college fund. You want to save for your children's school. Maybe now they're still babies, they're not going to school yet, but in another 2 or 3 years they will be going to. So that it will be easy for you, you start putting aside a particular fraction of your income on a monthly basis. A lot of people run to people helter-skelter when it's time to pay their rent. I said, no, you have a 1-year notice to that rent. Why don't you look at your rent? My rent is 1 million per annum. So what do I need to do? Do I need to put aside 80,000 or 90,000 every month from my salary so that when it is time to pay that 1 million rent, I don't have to go anywhere? We can all have a strong why, and that's one thing you need to do as a salary earner, to save your money and to watch it grow. The next point is, remember this: pay yourself first. Whether you're a salary earner or you're a business owner, pay yourself first. The money you're earning is not all yours. Your children's lesson teacher, your nanny, your gate man, your washerman, the painter, all of them are going to get from this money. At the end of the day, you are working for them and nothing comes to you. So when you earn a salary, what should you do? Take a fraction of it, 10%, 20%, whatever you decide, and say, this is my money. That money that you take can now go into your future investment. If you watch my previous video, I talked about having a financial freedom plan. So in your financial freedom plan, you have said to yourself, at such a certain age, I want to retire. I want my money to be able to work for me. Right now that I'm still agile, I'm working hard. So take that fraction of money and say, this is mine. Then put it in an investment, mutual fund, pension scheme, or some other passive income venture that is verifiable. That is very, very important. So pay yourself first. Then you want to ask me, how much should you? Personal finance is personal, but there's a general rule. From your take-home pay, 50% can go for living expense, 30% for lifestyle expense, and 20% for savings. But there's no hard and fast rule to this. But you can just know that it's important for you to have a plan and stick to your plan. And what's my point number 2? Pay yourself first. Number 3, this is my favorite. Put the sickle before the harvest. What does that mean? Set up a budget. The sickle is that instrument that you use to cut, to harvest when the harvest is ripe. If you do not plan where you're going to put the sickle and where you're going to transfer the proceed to, you will spend all the harvest. You know predictably that X amount is coming for you by the end of the month. Your sickle in this case as a salary earner is your biro and your sheet of paper or your notepad or your computer. You say, with my 1 million that I'm expecting at the end of the month, this is how I'm going to divide it. Share it immediately and know that from here, right from the payment account, the money goes to those places. So plan that expense before the money comes. Don't plan it after you have received the money. If you do so, you may never be able to save. So what's the point number 3? Put the sickle before the harvest. Plan that income before it gets into your hand. Let's go to number 4. Track your expense. Track where your money is going to. You know, just this morning, someone did some shopping for me and lumped up the sum and said, oh, this is how much you're paying me. I said, thank you, but can you please break it down? I want to know how much I'm spending on grocery. I want to know how much I'm spending on cleaning agents. I want to know how much I'm spending on different things. Because if you do not know, you won't be able to track if there are holes, if there are gaps that you need to fill. If you don't know that you spent, let's say in Nigeria, you spent 6,000 on a basket of tomatoes in January, and in July that same basket of tomatoes will be 30,000. You would not know that sometimes it is better for you to shop your tomatoes between a certain month. Like in Nigeria, from October till April is a good time. Tomatoes are cheap. But from like end of May, June, July, August, tomatoes are no-go area. So they are available, but they're super expensive. So if you don't track your expense, you won't know. Maybe as a housewife, you're cooking, then you can change your menu at that time. That's not the time to start cooking the stew that has a lot of pepper in it. That's the time to change to soups like ogbono soup, like a hedikaiko soup, all those ones that you just use small dry pepper. So when you track your expenses, you know where the money is going to, and you know which ones are priority. Remember, you have a why. So when you track your expense, you know your why, and you say to yourself, no, I can't go this route, I have to change it. So what's point number 4? Track your expense. We're still talking about how to save as a salary earner and watch your income grow. Number 5, set up direct deposit to save automatically and make access not convenient. Remember, you have set a portion of your money to be saved. The next thing is give a bank instruction. You can put it in a savings that you definitely and deliberately forget the password. You can set up direct debit and tell an accountability partner who is a saver, not a spender. Not someone that will say, just borrow me the money. Someone that is committed to your why, to your reason for setting aside that money. It is very, very important. Husband and wife should ask themselves, what is their money character? What's their money personality? So that they will be able to there'll be accountability and there'll be check and balance. So when you set that direct deposit, before the money gets to you, which is your sickle and your harvest, you've already channeled where that is going into. And make sure that account that you're putting the money to, you don't have easy access to it. Like there are some targeted savings that they say to you, put this money and you won't be able to access it until 5 months, 10 months. You can use it to save up for expenses that are predictable, like house rent, like school fees, like summer vacation. Maybe you want to travel. You want to travel in July or June or August. You can start saving from now on into that direct deposit that is not easily accessible. There are three expenses that are inevitable, okay? Transportation, accommodation, and feeding. What did I call them? Transportation, accommodation, and feeding. Number 6, reduce your cost on these 3 expenses. So what do I mean by that? You're a salary earner. Your income is predictable. Are you entitled to an official car? Take advantage of it. Or should you want to use your own car, don't jump from a Toyota to a Mercedes-Benz or a Range Rover without counting the costs. Okay, so look at the fuel efficiency of the car that you're using. Look at the distance of your house. If you're working in a place where you have to commute 5 times a week, it is important for you to ask yourself, what is the distance? How many kilometers do I have to cover? And then decide what is going to be the means of transportation. Are you in a place where you can take a train, you can take a bus, or you have to drive? So what is the cost? Calculate that and put a cost to your transportation in your salary. Then what about feeding? You're working in a place, maybe you're working in Nigeria, in Lagos, you're working in Victoria Island, Ikoyi. The food vendors there are very expensive. The same food that you buy for 1,000 naira, if you're working somewhere else, you pay maybe 300 or 400 naira for that same food. Do you want to wake up and do your food and take it there? Do you want to eat once a day, in the office and once back at home? So you have to deliberately and intentionally find a way to reduce your costs on your transportation, your feeding, and your accommodation. There is a way you can do it. If you're living, far away, out of town, it may be cheaper for you, but then you will spend more on transportation. So what are the ways you can do it? Do you want to get a small room near your office so you're there Monday to Friday, and then Friday night you go to your big place outside of town that you can be from Friday to Monday morning? That's a possibility. Or you will be contented living in a small apartment until when you are able to get a big apartment in that space in the central business district, in the downtown. So you need to be able to know how much of your income is going into your transportation, into your accommodation and feeding, and ensure that your salary can accommodate it. Remember, don't quickly do a lifestyle change because you have a raise. Okay, always look at how you can save money on these 3 expenses that are inevitable. Number 7, beware of online shopping. I like online shopping. It's convenient, okay, it's easy, but beware. It makes you to spend money that you have not fully thought of. So you go back to your point 1. Why are you saving? You also go back to having a budget, putting the sickle before the harvest, planning your expense. So the mere fact that you're checking for a freezer and you now see something else beside it that you have not planned for, don't be in a hurry to click it. Don't put a one click that you've already set your card in your system. Okay, the marketers would always encourage you that set your card, buy with one click. Don't be in a hurry to do that. Verify all expenses. Be sure that you need that thing. Ask yourself 3 questions. Do I need it? Can it wait? Is there an alternative? Okay, sometimes the answer is you don't need it, it can wait, or there's an alternative right in your house. So the convenience of online can make you to spend beyond what you have planned for. Always stick to your spending plan. Okay, beware of online. We're getting close. I have 3 more. Number 8, find alternative to leisure. Okay, get creative with low-cost entertainment ideas. Okay, some you like watching movies. Do you want to rent a movie? Because if you have a large family, you want to take your family, or maybe all your children and your wife or your husband, you all like watching movies. It may be cheaper for you to rent that CD or to download that movie for a cost than for you to go to the cinema. Because you go to the cinema, 1, you're going to pay per head, 2, you're going to buy some drink and some popcorn, and those things are twice the price at the cinema house. So what do you want to do? Find alternative to your leisure. What about doing something like hiking, okay, maybe marathon race, maybe playing board games and some other things. What about going to swim? Maybe joining some club where you have access to those things. But leisure is important. It also bonds the family, but put a cost to your leisure and make sure you can accommodate it. What they often do when you're working 9 to 5 is they put you in some clubs, that is commensurate with your level in the office. Take advantage of it. There's nothing wrong in it, and use it. But sometimes you may have to have eaten your food before you go to those places. Whereas your company will cover the cost of being a member of that club, they will not cover the expenses that you have there. So select what you want to buy there, which is 10 times the price you buy it outside, and just enjoy the leisure. Leisure doesn't have to make you bankrupt. So find out how much you're spending on leisure and be creative about it. We have 2 more points about how to save money and watch your money grow. Oh, number 9, that's the one before the last. Review your current service providers and other expenses. What do I mean by that? You have a phone, you have insurance, car insurance, house insurance, your waste disposal, your children's school fees, and all those things. Review those service providers. Okay, for your phone, for instance, in Nigeria you have the MTN, the Airtel, the 9 Mobile, and so many others. Check their tariffs. Now you can port. They may be able to give you something better. What is your phone usage? How much do you spend per month? Are you prepaid? Are you postpaid? How is it working for you? What about data? Okay, how much do you spend on data? Do you need to have Wi-Fi, or do you use the data of your phone? Check all these things. They add up. Then what about how you dispose your waste? Do you have someone that comes in? How do you use your gas? What about your electricity? Which is cheaper for you? To use the electricity that is supplied by government, or the private providers, or to use generator? Do you know that sometimes if you need to do something large, it may be cheaper for you to use generator when multiple people are using, the electricity in the house than even to use the one provided by the power service providers. It is important for you to review who is providing your service. Who are you buying your diesel from? Who are you buying your gas from? All those things add up. There are some people that have loyalty points that they can accrue. Where are you doing your grocery shopping? Just what I'm saying at this point is check who is providing your service and see if you can bargain or negotiate on it. And the last but not the least point is tweak your utility bill usage. What do I mean by that? One of my proteges talked to me just last week and said, hey mentor, I said, hey mentee, what's up? He said, I just found out in the month of December, my gas bill rose to $200. I'm like, seriously? The person lives in America. I said, $200? I said, yes. I said, I don't know what is happening, but I've got to do something about it. If I'm paying $200 per month on electricity, I would be paying $240 by the end of the year. So I was like, maybe because it's winter, maybe. He said, no, I think, no, this is really ridiculous. So do you know what he did? He told me this yesterday and I was so excited. He said, I had to look at my heating system and I regulate it to come on and come off. When it comes on for a whole hour, it heats the house. At that time, it's a bit hot. Then the next hour or so, it will now not work. At that time, it's conserving energy. And the heat that has been acquired in the first hour would go on for like 45 minutes. So it's only going to be cold for about 15 minutes or so. He did all the mathematics and the calculation. But the good news was, in the month of January, he only pays $65 on heating. That means he saved $135. If you save $135 every month for 1 year, it's about $1,600 and something. If you're saving $1,650 a year just on heating, and you put that in mutual fund or something, okay, then you know what that's going to accrue to you. So what I'm saying is, check where your money is going to and block certain things. Block certain things. Who is your tailor? Where are you sewing from? The mere fact that you're working 9 to 5 does not mean you have to sew from those people that will sew a skirt suit or a long skirt and blouse for $150,000 a piece. So you can still get someone that will do the same thing for 50, even for 20, even for 30. You're buying meat, you're buying fish. Where are you living? Can you send someone to go to the place, to the source of where they're buying it? Let me give you an instance. In Lagos, a kilo of meat is like 2,000 in Okoba. That same kilo of meat is like 3,500 in Lekki. How many kilos of meat do you eat? Do you want to send someone to come to Okoba and buy you 10 kilos, incur the cost of transportation, and see how much you spend, you save on meat alone? The same thing for pepper. Pepper is still cheaper in mile 12. Do you want to team up with some people and send someone to mile 12 and buy you the pepper? Do you want to, just what I'm saying is, see how you can manage your utilities. The things you use, the thing that can make you bankrupt are the things that you spend money on daily and regularly. See how you can save costs on it. These ways and many more can help you to save money, block holes, and then you see your money grow. Stay tuned for the next video. Remember, like, subscribe.